Hi, so I wanted to provide a review of the Pound Octothorpe from the perspective of a longtime grip AX4 user. Now, I've contemplated upgrading to the Pound Octothorpe from the grip for some time now, but couldn't quite justify it due to the price of this bag retailing for normally $450. But Pound ran either a Black Friday deal or some sort of promotion in late 2024 with this bag priced $100 less. So it was actually $350. And for that price point, I could justify it because I had been wanting this bag for quite some time. So I'd like to review this bag, and I'd like to segment it into three topics: the pros, the cons, and the things that surprised me about this bag. So, starting off with the pros, the first thing that I really like about this bag compared to the grip is the putter pocket. Now, I know that's kind of a weird thing to categorize as a pro, but honestly, the grip AX4 putter pocket absolutely drove me nuts. For one, the flap in the back of the grip would constantly snag on the putter as I pulled it out, and the flap would come loose and it would actually come out, and I would have to constantly put it back in. With this Pound, it's attached here with this little button, and it doesn't come loose and get snagged on the discs. The other thing that I really like about the putter pocket is that it's terraced, so that the front putters here sit lower and it kind of gradually goes up. It just makes it easier to access the disc and also easier to just quickly identify which putter I want to grab. The last thing that I really enjoy about the putter pocket on the Pound is that it's perfectly situated up here. It's very easy to access. The thing that I had an issue with the grip was there was a cinch in the main compartment here that you could adjust to make it so that the putters sat higher or lower in the putter pocket, but inevitably that cinch would always become loose and the putters would move down further and further and further into the putter pocket and just made them more difficult to retrieve. The straps on this thing are super high quality and durable and very comfortable. Now, the Grip AX4 straps were also super comfortable, but after about 6 years of use, they were definitely showing some signs of wear and tear. But I do find these to be a little bit more comfortable, and we'll see how the durability holds up. But Pound has a reputation for maintaining extremely high quality, and more generally, this bag just screams high quality. It is the build quality of this is impeccable. The seam work, the zippers, the fabric used is just such high quality. The next pro I have with this bag is the main compartment here. With the grip, it didn't sit, this part here would actually encroach on the opening. It didn't sit flush. So when you had to grab a disc towards the periphery, you had to fish your hand in here, and it would be kind of difficult to retrieve discs from the ends and put them back. But this, because it sits flush with the opening, it's very easy to retrieve discs on the ends here. One thing that I initially didn't know what this thing was. I thought it might have been like a cinch to make the opening here, this compartment, cinch it in. But no, this is actually intended to be used for like a stool or an umbrella or something. You just stick it in here like that. So that's really cool. I like that. Haven't used it yet, but it's the functionality of it is awesome. One thing that is super cool about this bag too is the bottom fabric here. It has some sort of dirt prevention or moisture wicking properties because it really does a great job at preventing dirt buildup and moisture. And initially, I thought because it didn't have the rails that go along here like the grip does, and because the grip sits up off the dirt, that this thing would get dirty. But no, this, whatever fabric this is, it's awesome. It doesn't get dirty at all. I love it. And probably one of the main reasons that people buy a Pound is because of the comfort. this back here, it conforms to your back. It's like a warm hug, as I think Doth Savik said in his review. Is it just it feels so nice because there's not this rigid insert in here. It just kind of conforms to your back, and it feels super comfortable. And the other reason I think people buy this bag is because the weight distribution and how comfortable it is. Makes it so that it feels lighter on your back. But I do have some more thoughts on that in the things that surprised me about this bag. Now onto the cons. This strap up here, while being durable and high quality, and I don't envision this will ever become separated because the insertion point is way down here and the stitch work on this bag is of course incredible. The thing I don't like about this strap is it's like kind of malleable, and it inevitably gets pushed kind of this way, and it rubs up against the back of my neck, and it drives me crazy, so I have to kind of move it here every time I put on the bag. The other thing I really don't like about this bag, and probably my biggest gripe with it, is the inclusion of these hall pockets. Now, I understand the concept of these and giving players more flexibility with storing more discs if they should choose, but I actually prefer the grip's dedicated water bottle holder kind of at the back. And I think because of these hall pockets, it's impeding how wide these side pockets can get. The side pockets on the grip are preferable for me because they do expand out further, and I was able to put a large jacket in them with these guys. While I was able to put a light jacket in here, I don't think I'd be able to put a larger jacket in here. Truthfully, between the main compartment and the putter pocket up top, you have the potential to store up to 25 or even more discs just between these. I think for 90% of players, that's probably 25 discs is more than enough. And I don't ever intend to utilize these hall pockets. I would prefer to see a dedicated water bottle holder. And I think a dedicated water bottle holder, again, would allow for expanded storage on these side pockets. Additionally, the side pockets, I don't think they hold as much as the grip. There aren't as many individual pockets in here, and I do prefer kind of the layout of the grip over this guy. That does it for cons. The things that surprised me about this bag, and the first thing that kind of surprised me about this bag is I think people commenting on how light it feels, I think that's overstated and somewhat exaggerated. If you have a 30-pound disc golf bag, it's not going to miraculously feel like it weighs 50% less. Like, I think it is accurate to say that this bag, because of the weight distribution and how comfortable it does feel lighter on your back, but not excessively so. Like, you're not going to feel like it weighs 50% less than a comparable bag that's similar to the Pound Octothorpe. One thing that pleasantly surprised me about this bag is how well it stays up on uneven surfaces. I came into this thinking that because it kind of lacks rigidity, that it would fall over constantly. That hasn't proven to be the case, and in fact, I think it is similar to the Grip AX4. I was coming into this expecting to have to be very mindful of where I place this, and that actually is not the case at all. I can pretty much place it on slopes without consequence of it falling over for the most part. Like, I occasionally do have to be mindful if it's like a very, very extreme slope with a very extreme angle, but overall, it stays up just fine. That actually brings me back to another con that I forgot about is the kind of aesthetic appeal, and this bag kind of appears frumpy, And I attribute that to these thin, flexible inserts in here that don't necessarily keep it from maintaining a rigid structure. That's a personal thing, I think. I don't know how many people would be like this would be a huge con for them. It's not a deal breaker for me, but I do kind of wish that this had less wrinkles to it because it's kind of wrinkled on the front here and clearly on the side pockets it's very wrinkled. So I do wish that there was some additional rigidity with this to make it look more aesthetically appealing to me. I think a lot of that is partially attributable to the fact that there's actually no bottom insert here, and so it's not. It's just loose. There's really nothing in here. So I absolutely love this bag. It is awesome. I do recommend it for disc golf enthusiasts willing to shell out the additional money for a very high quality product. But yeah, I mean it's not perfect. I understand the I understand that there's going to be kind of a balance between rigidity and comfort, and I think they've mostly nailed it. And certainly I would err on the side of comfort over having a very rigid bag. So to me, this is a slam dunk, and I absolutely love this bag. And I think it looks beautiful with this colorway, particularly. I love this maroon with these tan accents and like this silver bottom. I think it looks absolutely sick. Um, and I am very pleased with my purchase. So, yeah, that about wraps it up. Thank you so much.